morning, everyone. Thank you for coming. My name is Teresa Devel, and I'm the chair of the Diversity Council. So we appreciate your presence here today. We gather here today to honor and celebrate the life and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King, a man who profoundly impacted our nation, society, and the world. Thanks to the members of the PRMC Diversity Council for putting together this special program, and a special thank you to Selena for coordinating to bring this speaker, and also to Anne for all the endless, tireless work that she put together supporting this program here today. So many people remember Dr. King for his speeches and writings regarding civil rights movement in the US and the African community, African American community. However, few people are aware of his broader vision of human rights for all people of the world. Few are aware of his outcries against poverty and materialism that plagued the US in the 1960s and that continue to do so today. He was calling us to give our imaginations, our skills, our training, our energies, and perhaps our lives to the task of eliminating the great human plague of hunger, exploitation, and war, to find in such work the roots of peace, the roots of our humanity, and the presence of God. For caregivers here at PRMC, we are encouraged through the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King and the sisters, including Mother Emily Gamlin, to consider how we too can help advance equality, opportunity, equity, and compassion for all, especially the poor, the suffering, and the vulnerable. At Providence Regional Medical Center, Everett, diversity is integral to who we are. We value and honor diverse experiences and perspectives. The mission of the Northwest Diversity Council is to engage, educate, and celebrate our caregivers through diversity enrichment throughout our organization. And we also strive to improve the well-being of our external communities as well. We also organize celebrations related to diversity, and we hold discussions and free exchange of ideas that reflect a range of values and beliefs. We meet bi-monthly at noon for an hour on the third Tuesday of every month on Colby campus. We invite you to join us. In support of our vision of diversity enrichment, we have planned 2 more events for this year. Event 1 will be held in May to celebrate well-being of diversity. How many of you were there last year? It was awesome. I hope you will come. And event 2, it's giving back to our neighborhood and our community, and we collect school supplies and non-perishable food items and donate them to neighborhood schools. We will provide more information as the time draws near. We are glad you joined us today, and we hope you enjoy the rest of the program. At this point, I'm going to call George Morales to come and lead us in the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We are very, very fortunate this morning to have the Archbishop Murphy School Choir, and they are going to lead us in a song under the directorship of Kevin Wright, The Star Spangled Banner.
Oh,
so much. That was so wonderful. Thank you. And the choir will come again and give us the closing song. So thank you. Yeah. So at this time, we've prepared a reflection which is going to be led by the Diversity Council as well as some of our caregivers and leaders here at PRNC. A reflection of the life of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Martin Luther King Jr. was born in Atlanta, Georgia on January 15, 1929. He was a pivotal advocate for African Americans during the Civil Rights Movement in the United States. Dr. King experienced racism from an early age, and those events stayed with and eventually brought him to a life of activism. After graduating college with a doctorate degree in theology, King became a pastor in Alabama. He began a series of peaceful protests in the South that eventually changed many laws dealing with the equality of African Americans. Dr. King gave hundreds of moving speeches across the country, and in 1964, he was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize. On April 14, 1968, Dr. King was shot and killed while in Memphis, Tennessee. Although his life ended that day, the work that he had accomplished changed the nation. Dr. King will be remembered not only for his commitment to the cause of equality for African Americans, but also for his profound speeches that moved so many. Martin Luther King Jr.'s words were spoken with hope that the future for African Americans and other minorities would be brighter, and that they would finally be given the equality they deserved. Today, we take time to pause and reflect on some of his quotes on life, love, progress, and freedom that helped shape the progressive world, rich in its diversity in which we live today. So, all those who are reading, would you please stand?
Although social change cannot come overnight, we must always work as though it were a possibility in the morning.
Life's most persistent and urgent question is, what are you doing for others?
Let us move on in these powerful days, these days of challenge to make America what it ought to be.
Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, concerned citizens can change the world.
Your greatest display of strength and character in life comes at the time when you are able to help someone else while you are going through your own storm.
If opportunity doesn't knock, fill the door.
In the end, we will remember not the words of our enemies, but the silence of our friends.
The ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in a moment of comfort and convenience, but where he stands at the times of challenges and controversy. I look to a day when people will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character.
Darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that.
The function of education is to teach one to think intensively and to think critically. Intelligence plus character. That is the goal of true education.
Our lives begin to end the day we become silent about things that matter.
If you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. But whatever you do, you have to keep moving forward.
People fail to get along because they fear each other. They fear each other because they don't know each other. They don't know each other because they have not communicated with each other. Everybody can be great because anybody can serve. You only need a heart full of grace, a soul generated by love.
An individual has not started living until he or she can rise above the narrow confines of his individualistic concerns to the broader concerns of all humanity.
Let us pause and be grateful for Dr. King. Let us pray together. Lord God, we stand on the shoulders of giants who have sacrificed for the sake of the gospel message. We stand here responsible for the governance of your healing ministry, aware of much good work that is done and much more yet to do. Give us a share of the spirit that guided Dr. King and others like him to be voices for the voiceless. Let us not settle into appalling silence, but instead have the courage to do what is necessary for those most in need, those whom your Son Jesus loved the most. By our words and actions, may we begin the face of Jesus in our time and place. We pray in his name. Amen. Thank you so much. So today, we are very lucky to have a guest speaker, and his name is Les Pee Wee Harrison, and I'll share a little bit about him. Pee Wee's journey started in Omaha, Nebraska, as the second child of 11. He went on to college to earn an MBA and is currently in a PhD program for performance psychology. Now residing in Lake Oswego, Oregon, Pee Wee is a certified executive coach and the author of The Perfect Assist, placing people in the right position to score in life. Pee Wee is widely known for his time traveling and playing with the most famous Harlem Globetrotters of all time, Meadowlark Lemon. Indeed, his pro basketball experience was a dream come true for Pee Wee. For 28 years, he played alongside his childhood idols, including none other than Max Hayes, Pistol Pete Maravich, and Kelly Nell. Now he uses the experience he gained playing ball and the knowledge he's gained with his MBA and PhD to run a nationally recognized youth character education program called Applause, which especially focuses on putting a stop to in-school bullying. In 2017, Pee Wee conceptualized the Drive for Responsibility, in which he traveled to the steps of all 50 states, spinning a basketball, introducing the Statue of Responsibility, an anchor to the Statue of Liberty on the West Coast. Statue of Responsibility is a monument and a movement, a dream of Dr. Victor F. Frankl, Holocaust survivor and well-renowned clinical psychologist. It's a catalyst for a unifying global project to enshrine and share his fundamental value. Pee Wee's Perfect Assist message inspires, motivates, and empowers listeners towards the next level with courage, conviction, and passion. His audiences live empowered to live out their dreams and equipped to establish new, concrete directions. Les Pee Wee Harrison will challenge your audience to dream an unrealistic dream and ask yourself, why not? He traveled all the way from Oregon to be with us this morning, so we are so lucky to have him here. Mr. Les Harrison.
celebration of Dr. Martin Luther King, it also falls on the heel of Black History Month. And you know, every black superhero has to have a theme song, like Shaft. I didn't have the Shaft, I didn't have Isaac Hayes to back me up, so this is my new theme song. This is my group right here. Give them a round of applause. I got a chance to meet with these young people earlier, and they're taking time out of school to come and sing, and I told them the importance of singing. See, a lot of people don't realize is that in the African American community, and even during the civil rights movement, there's a lot of things you couldn't say, but there was a lot of things that you could sing. And singing was the bond that brought everybody together. Singing was during even slavery time that we couldn't say a lot of things, so we had to sing a lot of things. So these young people right here, they've taken the time out of their day to come here to make sure that they impacted everyone with their singing. So let's give them another round of applause. So you heard a lot about Martin Luther King. I'm going to give you a little trivia things to put in your little basket. First of all, he wasn't born Martin Luther King. He was born Michael King. His dad was named Michael Luther King. And the doctor thought he was being named after his dad, but he was really being named after his grandfather. And after his grandfather died, he later changed his name to Martin Luther King. Did you know that? Secondly, out of all the civil rights leaders, Martin Luther King, brother was assassinated, mother was assassinated, and he was assassinated. His father was the only one that died a natural death. His mother was assassinated in the church, and his brother was assassinated in his home. So I always like to give out history. All right, get ready. If you're ready, give me 2 claps. If you're ready, give me 2 claps. The brother that got on the brown shoes back there, we're going to talk after this, okay? All right. I say to you today, my friends, that in spite of the difficulties and frustrations of the moment, I still have a dream. It is a dream deeply rooted in all American dreams. These were impactful words from one of Dr. Martin Luther King's famous speeches. This was a national anthem for a call to duty. It was the juice that was needed in hard times. This was about faith. Here at Providence, that is what you do. You provide faith to the faithless. The scripture says faith is the substance of things hoped for, evidence of things not seen. You guys come in here every day not knowing what you're going to see, not knowing what the situation is going to be. And there are people that are coming from the outside that have no faith at all, but they're putting faith when they walk through these doors. As people of Providence reveals God's love for all, especially the poor and the vulnerable, through your compassionate service. In my brief time, I want to talk to you about the perfect assist. Yes, I'm a basketball player, and I was going to use a basketball analogy somewhere in this speech. So does everyone know what an assist is? There's a difference between an assist and a pass. In order for a pass to be called an assist, someone has to have success on the other end. So in basketball, it's 2 points or 3 points. So I set out to be the best assist leader in the world. But there was a prerequisite with that, and that was that someone had to have success before me. Now, when it comes to Dr. King and the people that you serve, Dr. King said that he had a dream. A lot of folks that walk through this door are not able to dream because there is a prerequisite to dreaming. And that prerequisite to dreaming is called sleep. You have to be able to sleep at night in order to dream. I don't speak this by permission. I speak this by experience. 2017 will be a year I never ever will forget. May 7th, my best friend, my encourager, my hero, died after 15 months of battling with cancer. He went from 6'3", 215 pounds, down to 133 pounds. And I can remember all the times in my life, my dad was just a huge man. And during the time period, we didn't really shake and hug hands. But I was with my dad, holding his hand as he took his last breath. Then within 60 days, my mother went to Houston to have she had an aortic aneurysm. She never woke up from that. All within 60 days, I lose the most impactful people in my life. And I can remember my brothers and sisters walking through halls just like this. Man, we knew every crook, we knew every cranny, we knew everybody in the food service. And when we got our parents into the hospital, it gave us a luxury to be able to sleep. Because we were entrusting them in the hands of those, because we were faithless at that time, meaning we didn't know what was going to happen. As long as my dad was in the house or my mother was in the house, I struggled sleeping. But once we walked through the doors of a building, of an institution like this, it made the difference. All 10 of my brothers and sisters, we were able to sleep. We were able to think about a brighter day. We were able to dream about if my father and my mother, if they would get up and walk. We were dreaming about holidays that we were having together. We were dreaming about grandkids and family reunions. We were dreaming about all of that. And I think about Dr. Martin Luther King saying, I have a dream that one day, and if you ever get into one of those type of situations, you're going to have a dream that one day, that's what the people here in Providence, that's what you do. The work and comfort that you give the patients and the families allows them to relax enough to sleep at night, knowing that their loved ones are in good hands. This is not something that you're to take lightly. This property becomes a safe haven to those that step on the grounds. From the acts of kindness from Brian in the valet, and the directions from the smiles of Dan, the security at the pavilion, and Will at Kobe. From the care of Bud, making sure that these floors and the decor and everything is together. And let's not forget Jerome, who's no longer here, he retired. Jerome in supplies, how he would just bring smiles to everybody's life. From the patience and the compassion from the people that are in the meeting. From the love that Michael in the cafe, by calling everybody by your first name, making you feel special. To the nurses, and to like Dolores, Loretta.
Dolores too.
To Loretta, to the care that she gives her patients with the therapy, the physical therapy. Because no matter how much pain she's in, she's denying her pain to relieve somebody else's pain. And it's not her pain that keeps her down every day. It's the pain of others that gets her up every day. So to people like Loretta, let's not forget the doctors. Let's not forget the senior leaders, the CNO Liga, CMOJ, VP Darren, and the CEO Kim. Where's Kim? Where's Kim? Now, I don't know Kim's last name. Wait a minute, I don't know Kim's last name. She does a wonderful job running this place. Kim, Kim. Wait a minute. Donald Trump, Michael Jackson, Meadowlark. Say it loud. Meadowlark. Say it loud. Meadowlark. Say I'm black and I'm purple. No. Wrong group. I'm sorry. Wrong group. I was listening to James Brown this morning on my way here. So, if it falls your lot to be a street sweeper, sweep streets like Michelangelo painted pictures, sweep streets like Beethoven composed music, sweep streets like Sister Emily Gimlin fought for health care for the poor, sweep streets like Shakespeare wrote poetry, sweep streets so well that all the hosts of heaven and earth will have to pause and say, here lived a great street sweeper who swept his job well. If you can't be a pine at the top of the hill, be a shrub in the valley, but be the best little shrub on the side of the hill. Be a bush if you can't be a tree. If you can't be a highway, just be a trail. If you can't be the sun, be a star. For it isn't by size that you win or you fail, but be the best at whatever you are. I want you all to give yourselves a round of applause for the work that you do. Round of applause. And when you leave here this day, I want you to keep this in mind. And I spoke at several nurses' conference or medical around the country. You never know what baby that you're holding. Someone had to deliver Martin Luther King. Someone had to admit his mother. Someone had to make sure that the building and the lights were on. Each and every one of you plays such a significant role. But sometimes you think because you don't bear that title that your role is insignificant. I can tell you, just to be able to sit down in a chair when I was confused about what was going on with my daddy. Just to be able to go in the restaurant and someone smile at me. I remember those when I didn't remember the doctors. Because each and every one of you set the stage. There's no guarantees coming in on whether you're going to walk out the door. But what you can guarantee is that you will treat each and every one of these people that line up with the mission of Providence. We're not talking poor financially. We're talking poor in spirit. Some of these people don't know their right hand from their left hand. But they can count on you to make a difference. And that's what it's all about. A lot of you don't know that the fight that your forefathers have fought for you to be able to sit here today. This ain't a black thing. This is a right thing. This ain't about black folks. This is about all folks. Because sickness doesn't care what color you are. Life comes to everybody and so does death. So as we leave this place, as you go back to your job, I was telling these young people, you are born individuals, but we die duplicates. Because we don't hold on to that very thing that separates us from everybody else. And that's why I want to thank you, Sister Loretta, for the work that you do. I want to thank you, Teresa, for allowing me to come here. And I want to thank each and every one of you for putting up with what I had to say. I hope that I've said something that made you feel special today. I hope you go back and be that all-star that I know you can be. Now, in the words of Isaac Hayes, right on, right on. Choir. Can you join in with them?
And you are me. That's what I said. And you are me. Don't you see? And you are me. That's what I said. And you are me. Don't you see? And you are me. That's what I said. And you are me. Don't you see? And you are me.
And you're over there.
That's what I said.
Something between us that's greater than ever. Seems like I'm over here. And you're over there. But there's something between us that's greater than ever. Seems like I'm over here. And you're over there. But there's something between us that's greater than ever. Seems like I'm over here. And you're over there. But there's something between us that's greater than ever. Seems like I'm over here. And you're over there. But there is something between us that's greater than ever. Seems like I'm over here. And you're over there. But there is something between us that's greater than ever. Seems like I am a part of you. You are a part of me. And so together we are one body. I am inside your head. You are inside my heart. We fit together, perfect from the start.
And you are me. That's what I said. And you are me. Don't you see?
Seems like I'm over here and you're over there, but there's something between us that's greater than ever. Seems like I'm over here and you're over there, but there's something between us that's greater than ever. Seems like I'm over here and you're over there, but there's something between us that's greater than ever. Seems like I'm over here and you're over there, but there's something between us that's greater than ever. Seems like I am a part of you, you are a part of me, and so together we are one body. I am inside your head, you are inside my heart. We fit together, perfect from the start. I am a part of you, you are a part of me, and so together we are one body. I am inside your head, you are inside my heart. We fit together, perfect from the start. I am a part of you, you are a part of me, and so together we are one body. I am inside your head, you are inside my heart. We fit together, perfect from the start.
Let's give them a round of applause. Let's give them a round of applause. Hey, you guys, you know what? I forgot one thing. One of the reasons why I was able to travel around the world was because of this. And this has been my tool. And I had got a request for Kim. What's her name? Can anybody help me with her name? Kim Williams. All right, Kim Williams, why don't you come on up here? Well, you know what? When Kim said,
It's lemon.
I thought you was going to say apple.
And I will find out who shared that.
So, Kim, famous things that we do, and that's, of course, spinning the ball. Right? So, you're going to do something that's never been done before. Now, this has never been done before, and I'm glad that we're at a healthcare facility. In case something happens, we don't have to move too far. You don't mind if I take off my jacket, do you? Okay. Kim?
Yes.
This is from, who got this from me? Ann? Okay.
Oh.
All right, so this is vitally important. Come close, folks. Hey, don't you know Rosa Parks said in the front so you didn't have to go to the back? So, just relax. You got that look on your face. Okay.
This will have it.
Yeah. So this is what I need you to do. It's vitally important that you put your DNA on this pen.
Done.
Get it? Get it?
Done.
Okay, very relaxed. DNA again. Now, is it safe to say that your DNA?
Yes.
Could you please blow on this pencil? No, I didn't say spit. Pencil, just blow. Okay. Now, this is for the kids.
All right.
This is for the staff.
Yes. Yes. That's for you.
The last time that person got their nose broke.
That's all right. I'm pretty old.
Oh, this is a little slippery. Wrap it up. Thank you, everybody. Hope to see you next year and enjoy the rest of the week. Kid, what's wrong? Get up. Come on, girl. What's wrong with you? Where are you from originally? Where are you from originally? Where are you from? You're from Ghana. So you know what? My birth name is Leslie Harrison. But I go by Les because people always say Leslie. It was not a name that I was very proud of. Then Middlelark named me Pee-wee. How can someone butcher Pee-wee? You got Pee-wee Harris, Herman. So we're going to get you together on this one. Can you say Pee-wee? Because you called me Pee-wee earlier. Let's try it. Try it again. Pee-wee.
Sorry, I'm just laughing because of Kim. I'm sorry. I can't stop laughing. Okay, so where's my program? Thank you, Archbishop Murphy Choir. That was great. Please. And thank you, Pee-wee. For that inspirational message. So now I get the chance to call on do the closing remarks. Thank you. Yes.
Thank you. That was really, it was fun, yes? Yes. Okay. So really it's my privilege at this point to do two things. So I'll show you because he's engaged in conversation over there. A plaque for Mr. Harrison. And Carrie, you were kind of sitting the whole time, so maybe you could stand. And we'd just like to thank you and the choir so much. Thank you. Building. It's pretty easy to get discouraged about where we are culturally. If you think too much about where our country might be going, it can be discouraging. And yet, when I walk in the doors every single morning, I know that in our walls, whether it's this campus or one of our clinics, that we treat every single person with compassion, and that we are all called to treat everybody the same and to know those individuals. As I think about it, I think we have to have the courage to dream and to believe that we can create a better place for the kids in our lives, in our communities, and that it oftentimes is not enough to just dream and believe. You actually have to take some action. So I would just encourage everybody to have that courage. And I, with deep appreciation, thank you, Mr. Harrison, the choir, and the Diversity Council. It's a great event. Thank you all very much.
Thank you all for coming, and this brings to a close our event for today. Again, thank you so much, Archbishop Murphy Choir, for being here, and for Pee-wee for being here, and everybody else. And I know he brought some of his books, right? Perfect Assist. Okay. And if you're interested in buying it or having him sign it for you, it's at the back of the table. We also have some refreshments, and thank you for coming. Our next Diversity Council event will be in May when we celebrate World Day of Diversity. So thank you all for coming. We appreciate it.